Like most women I've shown the surprising secret to, you might find what I'm about to say a little hard to believe, but I stumbled upon the hidden loophole that makes or breaks any romantic relationship, or any potential relationship. And not knowing this relationship secret virtually guarantees he'll always find a reason to ignore you, or just plain shut you out, no matter how hard you try to connect with him. Right here in this free relationship-saving presentation, I'm going to show you the real reason men pull away and lose interest, and the one simple method I've discovered that can get through any man's emotional armor so he's the one chasing you. Even better, you'll never feel like you're playing games or have to act in a way that isn't totally authentic. My name is James Bauer. I've been a relationship expert for the past 11 years, specializing in teaching women how to instantly make men emotional putty in their hands. The best part about my method is, it'll never even dawn on him that you're subtly opening his heart and molding him into the man who will passionately fight for your love. But the instant you use my relationship secret, your words will have an almost magical effect on his emotions, revealing the valiant, loving, vulnerable man of your dreams. So if you've ever wanted to connect with a man so deeply that he'll never lustfully look at another woman again, this is the most important video you'll ever watch. You're about to discover how to flood a man's mind with desire for you, making you the constant center of his attention, even if he's currently ignoring you or completely shutting you out. Because I'm going to show you how a few simple words guarantee that you'll be stuck in his mind all day, every day, and how after you say these subtle words, he'll be the one constantly checking his phone for your call, text message, or Facebook message. Without this method, your relationship will always be an uphill battle. A roller coaster ride of emotions that eventually flies off the tracks. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to get any man emotionally addicted to you, to the point where you're the only woman he ever thinks about. Now, if you've struggled to get or keep men's emotional interest and attention, you're not alone. You can be People Magazine's World's Most Beautiful Woman and still lose his interest. That's just men. It's like we're wired to lose interest in you, become distant, and ultimately think about leaving. That is, unless you know how to subtly trigger the same kind of adoring infatuation he felt the day that he met you. Mind you, I'm not making excuses for any man, or putting an ounce of blame on you for, well, anything, but it's important to know about his predictable withdrawal response so that you don't take personally how men naturally and inevitably act in a relationship. When you use my method, you can literally stop him from ever wondering if the grass is greener on the other side, and that's true no matter what your current relationship status is. Even if you're in the dreaded, it's complicated zone. That last statement's really important too, because my method is the missing link that can save, build, or rebuild any relationship. It works in any situation almost 100% of the time, whether you want to get him, keep him, or simply make sure that he's constantly opening up to you. Making himself vulnerable. This secret works because it addresses the very root of what makes relationships grow or completely fall apart. Here's what I mean. If your man, or the man you want, isn't thinking about you, who is he thinking about? Because he's always thinking about someone. And if it isn't you, it's someone else. I promise you that. That's why if you don't use my method to program his attention so that he's 100% devoted to you, his mind will wander and your relationship will suffer. But give me just a minute and I'll show you how to quickly and subtly make him addicted to you. Now, at the heart of what I'm talking about is appreciation. When you use my method, he's feeling appreciated. And the power of appreciation is, it grows or appreciates, and it brings you closer together like magic. Because when he feels constantly appreciated, he wants to reach out to you and give of himself, making sure you're feeling loved and taken care of. In other words, the more he feels appreciated, the more he wants to give, and the more intimate your connection ultimately becomes. But don't take my word for it. My method has worked for hundreds of my clients, including Lisa. Her story showed me how magical of an effect my method can truly have. In all honesty, I didn't have a clue how powerful this relationship secret was until I witnessed the impact it had in Lisa's life. Her story proved to me how subtly using my method can quickly save even the most hopeless of relationships. Now, Lisa met Caleb when she was 16. They were high school sweethearts and spent 10 years of their life together. But when they started coming to me for therapy, Caleb had already moved out into his own place. As you can probably imagine, it was Lisa who dragged Caleb to the appointment, hoping I could help them reconcile. But it was obvious Caleb didn't want to be there. He kept saying, "Lisa's crazy. I've wasted years of my life. Years being unhappy." Caleb wanted to be single again and take advantage of his good looks. He said, "Settling down just isn't for me. Lisa's the only woman I've been with. I want to have new experiences. I'm sick of her craziness. And that was just session 1. However, the real truth didn't come out until session 2. Neither of them wanted to talk about it, but they were both victims of betrayal. Lisa had someone on the side, despite being with Caleb, and in the aftermath of a big fight, Lisa made a very common mistake. She texted the guy who was pursuing her, seeking emotional comfort by telling him how irritated she was with Caleb. He texted her the emotional comfort she wanted, basically hinting that he would treat her better. You can probably guess what happened next. Caleb discovered Lisa's text message with the other guy. He quickly broke off the relationship, and almost just as fast, Caleb got into a relationship with another woman. My heart went out to Lisa. Even though things weren't good, she still wanted him, badly. She simply couldn't deny her love for him. But after a few big fights early in their relationship, Caleb just got more and more distant, to the point of almost always ignoring Lisa, which hurt more than anything else. They simply couldn't figure out how to make things work or get on the same page with each other. By the 3rd session, Caleb decided he was done with therapy, which devastated Lisa. At that point, I realized I needed to give her the most powerful stuff I had. So I told Lisa about a brand new method I was working on, a way to rewrite her and Caleb's story, like going back in time and creating a new future simultaneously. I helped Lisa see how trying to fix the problems Caleb was running from would never work, not head on. So I gave her the beginning stages of my method. By that point, I had spent hundreds of hours studying the brain as it relates to love. I've watched my method work on less troubled relationships like clockwork, but I wanted to prove that my method would work in totally dire relationships when it was used in just the right way. And I have to say, what happened in the next few weeks shocked even me. It was subtle at first, but my relationship secret not only helped Lisa reduce their messy conflicts, it also inspired Caleb to automatically reach out more. In fact, Caleb suddenly found himself texting Lisa almost compulsively, asking if he could come over to the house and spend more time together. It was like he needed her. He wanted her. He couldn't stop thinking about her. And it was amazing because Caleb went from being angry and ignoring Lisa to being caring and sensitive to her wants and needs. And it wasn't long before he ravenously craved her body, her smell, her taste, her touch. Miraculously, they started reconciling and created an even deeper connection than they had before. And that was after just 2 weeks. Now, imagine how, just like Lisa, you can use my method to inspire him to see you as the one and awaken the real man inside. The man you know is the perfect match for you. The man who fights for you, stands up for you, and puts you first. But before I tell you what my method is, let me explain a little bit about how I stumbled upon the idea. You see, from the moment you first talk to a man, you've got a story. And just like any story, there are always good parts and not so good parts. The question is, are there enough parts of your story that keep him wanting more? Because there's actually a magic ratio of positive to negative experiences. And this ratio predicts relationship success, longevity, and breakups with a scary 94% certainty. Other top relationship experts have pegged the magic ratio at 5-to-1. That's when he's truly feeling your love and appreciation. And that's also when you can make him literally chase you. Now, this is critical because if his primal need to chase isn't being triggered, he will lose interest, he will ignore you, and he will start thinking about other women. But here's why it's truly not your fault. It simply isn't enough to like or love someone. It's not enough to believe your love is meant to be. Because if you don't constantly trigger his chase mechanism, your story will have a very unhappy ending. Who wants that story? He doesn't, but you don't either, do you? The good news is, no matter how disconnected you are right now, the closeness you're seeking is just a few simple, subtle words away. Heck, your relationship could already be over, or never even started. But if you want him back, if you want to get him for the first time, if you want to keep him for life, or you just want to keep discovering deeper levels of intimacy, my method is how you do it. One caveat, you aren't getting back, or keeping the relationship you have. Nope. You're actually creating a whole new relationship, because my method literally rewrites his emotions, changes the past, and makes your amazing future together, well, possible. With my method, you'll quickly surpass the 5-to-1 ratio of positive to negative experiences without him even realizing it. My method is that subtle, and when you use it, he won't associate you with the bad stuff anymore. Instead, he'll be more drawn to you than ever, constantly anticipating your next phone call, text, or wondering when he gets to see you again, like a child waiting for Christmas. It doesn't matter if you've known each other for 1 month or 50 years.